Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California's sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hi. Hey.
What's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled. This is Mila J. Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Caron Avenue, Suite B209. Give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Yo, it's Tavon Greatness Patterson. Want to listen to Hot 7025 on the go? Download the Hot 702.5 app on the Apple Store or Google Play Store if you got an Android like me.
Let's get it.
Tune in now on hot7025fm.com.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. How y'all doing? Welcome back to a wonderful week as we try to do so well. Me personally, it's been, excuse me if I sound a little tired and down today. I'm a little exhausted, but I got enough energy to get through this for sure. You know how it goes. Other than that, though, man, this last week has been one of those weeks that's just kind of like, it is tiring. Nothing bad. It's just been very productive. A lot of moving around, a lot of transitioning, getting things taken care of, follow-ups, working. You know, I don't know how to take a day off sometimes, so that's kind of on me. But the weekend was pretty cool. Me and the kids enjoyed Memorial Day weekend together. We did a little barbecue at the house Monday before I had to go to the night job. You know, I'm really dreading. I think it's because I know I'm leaving soon, so I just can't wait to really be done with that job. I'm gonna be honest. So I think now it's just taking a lot of energy for me to go there and deal with that on a daily basis. I think it's just because I'm over it. You know, nothing against it. I'm just a little over it. Again, my body is trying to tell me you're doing too much. Plus, with everything going on, my schedule is going to change regardless. So I have to kind of find the best way to keep everything situated as it is now. And unfortunately, that's part of the thing is I may have to, or I will have to leave that job alone in order to get the scheduling taken care of, you know. But it is what it is. I will deal with it when I can, deal with it how I can. No real regrets about it because, you know, at some point, it's what I wanted. But now I don't want it no more. So we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that for sure. But other than that, I can't really say there's been too much in the past week that I had to really stood out to me. Well, shout out to my stepdad. He had I want to say it was 30 years on the job at UPS. We just had a retirement, I wouldn't call it a retirement party, but he ain't really retiring this year. But they had a celebration for that 30 years. Shout out to my mom for putting that together for him. It was pretty cool, had fun. Everybody came out and showed up. They cooked, they had some good food. My mama made some yams. I think that was just for me specifically because you know how much I love yams, you know, so that was pretty dope. But other than that, the only other great thing I want to talk about is the fact that y'all know what season it is. It's Gemini season. We are here loud and clear. We ain't going nowhere. We back and we better. It's our time of the year. And of course, because of that, I got to speak to my fellow Geminis. Y'all know I definitely got to give a shout out to y'all for sure. Welcome home. Welcome home. Welcome to the season where the air speaks out our language, where the sun finally understands our spirit, where the world speeds up just enough for our minds to finally feel normal. This is our time. The season of the survivors, the storytellers, the ones who learn how to smile through storms while carrying hurricanes in our chests. See, being a Gemini was never about being two-faced. No. It was about learning how to survive as two people at once. It was the version of us that broke and the version of us that kept going away anyway. So we are proof that healing can still have a sense of humor, that strength can still dance, that even after loss, heartbreak, pressure, responsibility, fatherhood, leadership, grief, and growth, we can still walk into a room and make people feel alive. That's Gemini energy. We are conversations that turned into movements, pain that learned how to perform, broken pieces that became mirrors for others, for other people to find themselves in. And to every Gemini listening, whether life has been loving you softly or fighting you every step of the way, I need you to remember this. You are still here after every sleepless night, after every moment you almost gave up, after carrying families, emotions, expectations, and dreams on your back like it was lightweight. You're still standing. So welcome to our season, a season of elevation, of evolution, of speaking life into ourselves again. May we stop shrinking for people intimidated by our light. May we stop apologizing or feeling deeply and thinking endlessly. May we continue becoming everything we were doubted for. And if the world doesn't understand us, that's okay. Because the moon never explains itself to the ocean, yet somehow it still moves the tides. Happy Gemini season, my brothers and sisters. May this season remind you that you were never too much. You were just born to shine in more than one direction. Gang. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know how it is. Shout out to the gang. Y'all here, we everywhere. But I'm going to get back to the conversation for today. Again, I'm your host, Juss Quanni, and tonight we having one of them real conversations. Y'all know me like I like to do so well. Not the fake, I'm good conversations. Not the social media version, and not the just stay positive speeches. Tonight we're talking about the people who are functioning but not okay, right? The people still clocking into work, still taking care of kids, still paying bills, still smiling in pictures. But mentally, emotionally, they tired. All right? Tired. And honestly, a lot of people don't even know how tired they are because survival mode became their normal. So tonight, I want to unpack all of that, or at least the most I can going into it. I may be able to finish this. If not, we'll tie it into next week as well. Mental exhaustion, loneliness, relationships, social media healing, burnout, childhood trauma, anger, and how people are silently breaking while pretending everything is under control. But first, again, happy Gemini season to all my fellow Geminis out there. The greatest season of the year. I'm going to say that a lot because gang. Don't matter. And before y'all start, no, again, we not two-faced, so let it go. We just emotionally bilingual, that's all. One side of me want to heal, and the other side want to block everybody and disappear for 3 to 5 business days. That's just balance. That's all it is. People always say Gemini switch up too much, but no, we just process emotions faster than your Wi-Fi connection. To each his own. And honestly, if I argue with myself and still lose, that's between me and me. So mind your business. But tonight's show is going to get deep, though, because a lot of people right now are emotionally surviving instead of emotionally living, right? And the scary part is people got so good at pretending to be okay that nobody notices when they're drowning anymore. It's just a norm, a comfortability zone in a way to them. So sit back, get comfortable, and let's talk about it, because tonight we're healing out loud, not just in silence, you know. To some of y'all that don't know what that is, we'll talk about it. Don't worry. We'll get there sooner or later. Some of y'all are out here dealing with this high-functioning pain, and y'all think that's normal and that's okay with, but that's not cool either. You know what's crazy is some of the most mentally exhausted people look the most put together. Well put, if you ask me. They show up to work every day. They take care of responsibilities. They answer phone calls. They crack jokes. They post online. But meanwhile, internally, they barely hanging on. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the biggest mental health conversations nobody talks about enough is the high functioning pain, right? because depression doesn't always look like crying in darkness. Sometimes depression looks like going to work every day with a fake smile. Or sometimes anxiety looks like being everybody's helper while secretly falling apart. Or sometimes emotional exhaustion looks like being quiet because you simply don't have the energy to explain what's wrong anymore. Some people have not mentally rested in years. Years. They've slept, but they haven't rested. There's a difference. See, people, how do I say it? Sleep helps, it helps your body. Peace helps your soul. And a lot of people are physically awake, but spiritually exhausted, right? Especially men. Men are taught from young, don't cry, man up, handle it, be strong. That's what they tell us, from the womb all the way up. That's what you get told. But nobody teaches men how to process emotions in healthy ways, right? So what happens? Men suffer in silence, men isolate, men overwork, men shut down emotionally, men say it is what it is while internally fighting battles nobody even sees, unfortunately. And let me tell y'all something. Being the strong friend is exhausting, okay? Being the provider is exhausting. Being the dependable person is exhausting, especially when nobody asks you if you are okay. Everybody calls you when they need strength. But who do you call when strength runs out? Well, me, I call God. We got a better relationship these days. But that's real. That's real. And honestly, a lot of people are one bad day away from completely shutting down emotionally. Just completely doing it. And that's why checking on people matters so much. That's why you want to check on your friends and loved ones, because you never know what they're going through. You never understand. You may think they got it good and they're going through it all right, but they probably breaking down internally. And, you never know. Not just you good, because people lie. You know what I mean? You got to ask deeper questions. How are you really doing? Right? What's been weighing on you lately? You carrying too much? Because sometimes people don't need solutions. Sometimes they just need somewhere safe to breathe, to be able to let it out and just say, this is what's going on. And can we be honest? Some of y'all, I don't want to say all, but some of y'all are so stressed, you creating fake arguments in the shower, whole speeches, winning debates against imaginary people. Now you mad before breakfast. That stress be different. And Gemini stress, oh Lord. Geminis don't have mood swings. We get emotional remixes. 1 minute we healing, next minute we making playlists that sound like revenge and personal growth at the same time. That's range, though, if you ask me. That's range. Now let's talk about social media, because social media got everybody pretending to heal. I like, they are pretending to heal. They're not actually trying to go through the motions. Healing takes time. It takes consistency, effort, patience. And all of y'all will say I'm healing, and 2 weeks later be back on the same shit that got you in that situation in the first place. You cannot heal in the same environment that made you sick. I'm just saying. Everybody online talking about protecting my peace and healing, boundaries and growth. But in real life, y'all are still toxic. Y'all are still manipulative. Y'all are still avoiding accountability. Y'all are still hurting people. And I'm not saying therapy language is bad. That's not what I'm saying. I think therapy is important, as y'all know. But social media has turned healing into a performance sometimes. So some people don't actually want healing. They want applause. There's a difference there. See, healing requires accountability, right? So healing requires honesty, and it requires uncomfortable conversations. Healing requires admitting to, yeah, I hurt people too. But social media made everybody the victim of every story. Nobody online admits I was toxic. I was emotionally unavailable. I handled that wrong. Nope, none of that. Everybody posted motivational quotes while emotionally terrorizing people in private. And that's dangerous, if you ask me. That is very dangerous. And we can talk about how people weaponize therapy words now. I think we all have seen that. Everything is you triggered me, or that's toxic, or that's narcissistic. No. Sometimes people are just immature. Sometimes people are just selfish. And sometimes people just refuse to communicate properly. Everything ain't a diagnosis. Social media got people saying I'm evolving while subtweeting from the bathroom at work. Be serious. Come on now. And honestly, Comparison culture is destroying mental health too. Y'all always want to compare yourselves to the next, and we got to be like this and be like that. Cut it out. Everybody comparing relationships, comparing success, lifestyles, and healing journeys like it's all supposed to be the same. We all don't have the same path to walk down in life. It's not going to be like that. We all going to walk down different paths, and y'all make it seem like it's a copy and paste thing. Since when? Since when? Meanwhile, you comparing your behind the scenes footage to somebody's highlight reel. How you do that? Of course you're going to feel discouraged. You definitely going to feel discouraged. People only post the polished moments. Nobody wants to post what they really going through. They're only going to post the things that make it look good. They don't want to do that. Nobody posting the breakdowns, the panic attacks, the loneliness, the debt. We all got some kind of debt we in. The sleepless nights, the therapy sessions, the emotional confusion. It's crazy that all of that gets bypassed because you want to show people the better side to it. I feel like people need to see the process. Like those videos, you'll see the men, like how bad did it hurt? They don't just post a before and after picture. They'll post a before picture, videos of them working out throughout the time that it happened and the final result as well, to show you what it took to get there. And sometimes you don't see the days that they fight a little harder. You may not see the whole thing, but they give you an idea of that the fact that it's not an easy situation to get through. It's tough. You got to work hard. You got to work through it. Go through it to get through it. You know what I mean? You got to go through it to get through it. But that's why you got to stop measuring your life by somebody else's social media. Because some people online look happy and haven't felt peace in years. Years. Okay? Years. And Gemini season definitely don't help social media. Geminis post one picture and suddenly everybody want to spin the block emotionally. That's not our fault. That's astrology. You know, I really want to stay here for a second because this conversation matters deeply, right? With men and loneliness. So let me get back to reality and be serious for a second. Men are lonely. Whether y'all want to agree to that, accept that, or believe it or not, it happens. Men are lonely, okay? It doesn't matter if we are parents, if we have kids, if we have children, we still are lonely, okay? It happens. I don't know why y'all get in y'all head that men just can't be that way, and it's just not possible. It is. It is. And society does a great job at ignoring it. You know, it's like normal for y'all to do that now. A lot of men genuinely feel like nobody cares about them outside of what they provide. As long as we're useful, people love us. You know, as long as we paying bills, people appreciate us, right? And as long as we solving problems, people need us. But emotionally, a lot of men feel invisible. Like you barely even see me. You don't even know what it looks like. You don't even understand me. You want to spend the rest of your life with me, but can't even figure out what's going on with me. Don't want to ask the right questions. Don't want to put your attitude aside. Don't want to do nothing but assume. But I'm supposed to just be okay with all of that. We have feelings too. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. But that loneliness changes people. It makes us emotionally numb as men. It makes us detached. It makes us stop wanting to express ourselves. It makes us feel vulnerability is a dangerous thing. So we need to stay far away from it. That's how we get the feeling. Because many men were taught the moment you open up emotionally, people either judge you, dismiss you, or weaponize your feelings later. And I will attest to you that outside of some of the men in my life that I've opened up to, anybody else I've opened up to and expressed myself to, they have used that against me some way, somehow. Whether it was the very next day or later on down the road, they used what I said to them and weaponized it against me like it was a tool to win an argument. Not cool at all. Not cool at all. So eventually, what do? We stop talking. Men are like, no, I'm good. And silence becomes survival because we feel like it's easier to be silent than to speak about what's going on. And that's why men, we need a community. We need brotherhood. We need safe spaces, therapy, and real friendships because we don't just need drinking buddies. We don't just need group chats and the memes. We need real emotional support. And it's starting to become more popular these days, but it's the fact that we even got to fight so hard for it to get there in the first place. Because some men are carrying childhood trauma, relationship pain, financial pressure, fatherhood pressure, identity struggles, and suicidal thoughts, while still trying to smile every single day like nothing is going on. That's heavy. That's super heavy. And fathers especially, man, we carry pressure quietly. You know, we don't feel like we can afford to really speak about it. We trying to protect everybody. We trying to provide for everybody. We're trying to lead everybody, but internally we burning out. We are burning out horribly. And sometimes fathers feel guilty for resting, like they only deserve love when they sacrifice themselves, and that mentality destroys people slowly. I feel horrible because I be wanting to say sometimes, I'll be wanting to ask Diamond, can you get the kids for a day or two? I need a break. I need a day to myself. And I feel guilty because it's like the minute I say something like that, everybody's like, well, why you need a break? Why can't you do it? Why don't you? And it's like, it's never, what is it that's causing you to need a break? What's going on? Why is it feeling so heavy for you now? I don't get questioned on why I need a break. I get told that me taking a break is out of the picture pretty much. Like, dang, I can't gather my thoughts and process too. I can't give myself a day or two just to kind of get everything back on track. Like, I have a lot going on in life, and you mean to tell me being so overwhelmed, I just got to keep taking it? Okay, I guess so, huh? I guess so. Fellas, we got to stop saying it is what it is. Okay? That phrase has carried too much emotional damage, because we'll say it is what it is while mentally buffering like a frozen YouTube video. That ain't healthy. And you like me, a Gemini man, Lord have mercy. We overthink everything. A Gemini can replay a conversation from 2019, analyze your tone, your punctuation, as well as your breathing pattern and your energy shift. And all before lunch, that brain never clocks out. Kind of crazy. But let's talk about relationships and emotional safety as well. Because honestly, a lot of people are not emotionally safe for each other. Okay? That's one of the biggest reasons relationships fail. Not because love disappeared, but because peace disappeared. There's a difference. See, you can love somebody deeply and still feel emotionally unsafe around them. You can care about somebody and still feel unheard. You can stay committed while slowly becoming emotionally exhausted. That's possible. And that's the part that people don't talk about enough. It's always, instead of them understanding where you're coming from, it's always pointing a finger at you because they feel like you did something wrong or you shouldn't be doing something to take care of yourself. It's crazy that me wanting to take care of myself is an issue. But okay, go off, Queen. A relationship should not feel like emotional survival every day, right? A relationship should not constantly feel misunderstood, dismissed, attacked. You should not constantly feel misunderstood, dismissed, attacked, or emotionally drained. That's not partnership. That's emotional warfare. I say modern day slavery in a way, if you ask me. And too many people right now are walking on eggshells in relationships, scared to express themselves, scared to communicate, honestly, scared to say, that hurt me. I need reassurance. I don't feel connected. I feel alone, because every conversation becomes defensiveness instead of understanding. I have yet to been able to express myself about an issue or a situation that did not lead to a bigger argument over the fact that I felt some type of way about something that needed to change yet. So I say that to say that we can't, it don't matter how we approach the conversation on what's bothering us. It's always a problem that we're bringing the conversation up in general. And yeah, I know I can talk to my therapist about it, but even my therapist is telling me I need to communicate with you more and express that more to you. And obviously I'm trying to do that. So with men, y'all say that we go to therapy and we do talk to our therapists. Our therapists give us advice about how we can approach people in our lives to correct behavior that they are showing that is very toxic to us. And when we do that, we still get it held against us. So it's like a double-edged sword, but I'm telling you now, fellas, just keep going to therapy and do what you got to do. I guarantee you, rather sooner or later, hopefully sooner than later, you'll be all right. You'll be all right. It takes a lot of work, and you have to actually want therapy in order for it to work. You can't go to therapy giving half lies or half truths, not being completely honest, open, and vulnerable with your therapist, because then at that point, you're just going to waste time. Because the point of therapy is to get better and be better. And if you can't be honest about everything going on or be honest with yourself or your therapist, you are wasting your and their time. I'm just being honest with y'all. Stop saying you're going to therapy. You go to therapy, learn a few good words, don't ever go again, and you're going to use those same words for the next 10 years so to make you feel good. No. Go to therapy, learn and understand what it really means to be in therapy. Learn how to truly express yourself and approach situations better while you're in therapy. And if people don't take it from there, then at that point, you deal with it in a different way with your therapist. It is what it is. There are times where you can go about it where you say, I apologize. It is what it is. What I meant to say is we have to realize that we are holding ourselves back. So until we actually take that step forward and we put the progress in and we approach the situation in the way we need to, it's not going to get resolved. We can't wait on everybody else to tell us how to fix a problem we have. That's just not fair. It's not going to happen. We have to deal with that on our own, okay? And let me say something that might step on some toes, right? And not might, it will. Communication is not just talking. Communication is also listening, understanding, processing, and responding with emotional maturity, not out of anger, right? Some people say, talk to me, but what they really mean is, talk to me as long as I agree with it. And the second they hear something uncomfortable, everything becomes an argument. They get defensive. They get dismissive. They don't want to hear it no more. Now, you ever notice how people ask for honesty, then get mad when honesty arrives? That's like ordering spicy food, then blaming the chef. Like, you asked for this. This is what you wanted. You told them to make it like that. And now it's a problem that they did what you wanted them to do? Okay, cool, whatever. And another thing, we got to stop weaponizing vulnerability. I don't know what gave y'all the idea that it was okay to weaponize it. It was okay to actually utilize it the way y'all do, but it's got to stop. It just has to stop. If somebody trusts you enough to open up emotionally, don't use their pain against them later. That is, it's like it's like you're going to make them backtrack in a way. That changes people forever, right? Some people stopped expressing themselves because every time they did, their emotions got mocked or dismissed or thrown back in their face during arguments. So now they just want to shut down emotionally. They don't want to open up no more. And it's not because they don't care, but because emotional survival taught them silence feels safer. I'm telling you now that silence may feel safer, but after so long of being silent, it's going to start eating you up on the inside. And then that outlet is going to be much bigger on the outside because of what's going on the inside. So find a healthy way to open up and express yourself. Don't let the silence take you down. Don't let it make you feel like that's the only way out, because it's not. I'm telling you, it's not. And silence in relationships is dangerous because eventually unspoken pain turns into resentment. And we know that. And resentment slowly kills connection. Not overnight, but slowly. Conversation by conversation, disappointment by disappointment, and broken promise by broken promises, until one day somebody emotionally checks out completely. And the scary part, most people don't notice the relationship ended emotionally until long after it happened mentally. Unfortunately, that's why emotional consistency matters. For that reason, that's why you have to be consistent with us. I got to be there for each other to help each other out and take care of it. Some of y'all are under the impression that you ain't got to do none of that. You kind of just get to go on with life and do what you got to do. That is not true. You can't have the temporary effort, not loving somebody correctly only when you feel like losing them. Consistency. Anybody can act right temporarily. Anybody. Even a kid will act right for a day if they know they're going to get a toy at the end of the day. Anybody will be able to do it. Real love shows up repeatedly. Okay? And I keep throwing these puns in here, but I got to stop. Gemini, dating a Gemini, that's an emotional scavenger hunt because we can be romantic, deep, funny, detached, loving, sarcastic, and overthinking, all before appetizers arrive. And that's not toxicity, that's talent, But seriously, people need emotional safety now more than ever. The world already is exhausting enough, and home should not feel like another battlefield. I'm telling you now, when home feels like a battlefield, you'll start to wonder why your partner no longer wants to be at home, or why they sit in the car for 2 hours, or 3 hours before coming in the house, or why they avoid being at home outside of work if they don't got to, because they no longer want to. They're already we are already in a war zone when we step outside. So the fact that I got to come home and feel like I'm in a war zone part 2, that's exhausting because I don't feel like I get the rest at all, and I'm always looking over my shoulder. And in my home where I'm supposed to be at peace and calm, that's the last place I should have to feel like I'm at war. So there go your answer to that. There go your answer to that. Now I want to shift this conversation toward children, okay? Because children absorb everything, which is why my children are in therapy now, because I'm pretty sure there are some things that we have done that they need healing from.
And I don't think we can be the ones to give them the healing for it. I think that it is out of our scope, so we find the next best thing to get them the help they need, and we just sit there and be supportive through the process. That's what I feel like with that. Even the things adults think they're hiding, kids notice tension. Man, I'm telling you, they notice tension. They noticed energy shifts. They notice silence. They notice emotional distance. They may not understand the details, okay? They may not fully understand what's going on, but they got an idea. But they understand that feeling for sure. They know what they feel for sure. They're going to tell you about that. And I think one of the biggest responsibilities we have as adults, I think probably the biggest, right, is breaking generational curses. And that's my personal opinion, breaking generational curses. Because a lot of us grow up normalizing unhealthy things like yelling, emotional neglect, the silent treatment, lack of affection, poor communication, unhealed trauma. And now as adults, we realize, wait a minute. What's going on here? That actually affected me deeply. That was not a good thing for me. Not a good thing for me. And I say that because I've been a parent for about 10 years now almost, okay? And I have progressed and grown on so many different levels in that 10 years of being a parent that I amazed myself. There were times where I did think yelling was the way to go, or whoopings was the way to go, or, being aggressive was the way to go. And over time, I realized there's more than one way to get things done. My children have helped me grow as not only a person, not only as a father, but just as an individual altogether is what I'm trying to say. They've helped me grow so well because I've had to realize some uncomfortable truths along the way. Like, things aren't going to always go as planned for me as a parent. Things aren't going to always be peachy clean, and they're going to listen and understand what's going on. Sometimes I do have to break things down, more than I thought I should have, because they probably just don't understand it. But all in all, I have learned and saw that there were some things in my childhood that I was doing as a parent where I was not holding up to my end of the bargain and breaking those generational curses. So I had to take a step back, take myself out of it, and actually sit there and understand and realize what I was doing to cause more trauma on my children, which, I'm working on getting through that and getting past it. Some adults are still carrying childhood wounds and growing bodies, still seeking validation. I really don't like that one. Like, if you really got to get validation from everybody else, I don't really know what to tell you, because I'm going to tell you right now, any decision I make, any choice I make, I made it because I wanted to. Anybody got a problem with it? Hey, that sucks for you. It is what it is. I'm not about to sit here and try to comfort you over a decision I made where I felt like it was the one I needed to make. You don't like it, you're going to have to talk to your therapist or talk to yourself about that, or somebody else, because I ain't trying to hear it. I'm just not trying to hear it. Still struggling emotionally. Like, I feel like that's a double-edged sword. We're going to struggle regardless. We're going to struggle emotionally throughout life because there's going to be things that hit us that we're not ready for. We may think we got it all together, then a parent may die. Now you got to deal with that emotional side of life. There are so many different things in life that we're going to struggle through emotionally, but I think the problem is we don't acknowledge that we're struggling. We don't acknowledge that we're feeling some type of way. We don't acknowledge that there's an issue there, and we just continue to struggle emotionally and let that build up and get worse than what it is and what it could have been. Or we still fighting those abandonment issues. I used to tell people all the time, man, look, my dad wasn't around. My stepdad left at a young age. He died. My brother died when I was 20 years old. Like, I had abandonment issues that was very severe. So anytime I had a issue with my partner or spouse and they threatened to leave and walk away, it triggered something in me because I felt like, oh, there you go, abandoning me, just like everybody else. That sounded so toxic. But in my mind, I would say that because of all of the people that I love near and dear to me, they would just up and leave out of nowhere. So it created some abandonment issues. But I went to my therapy. I did my counseling and services for it to get it helped and taken care of. Are those issues still there? They may be, but now I know how to approach them and deal with those. You know what I mean? I know how to deal with that on a healthy level instead of acting out of emotion all the time. Or still struggling to express feelings properly, Some of y'all are getting frustration, and anger confused with, overwhelmed, being overwhelmed. Sometimes y'all are just a little overwhelmed and y'all get and say, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm mad. And that's not even the case. You just got too much on your plate at the moment. That's what that really is. Because nobody taught emotional intelligence growing up. A lot of people were taught survival, not healing. We were taught to just get through it. We were taught to just live through it, not what it takes to actually get through it. if you know what I mean. So, that is why I'm huge on therapy. It's because it matters for that reason. Therapy will help, especially for children. And let me say this clearly, because I have to say it every time I bring this conversation up. Therapy is not weakness, okay? Therapy is maintenance for the mind. It's you taking care of yourself, you taking care of your mental, you making sure that you're okay. That's what therapy is here for. And if you feel like that's not the case, I really don't know why you feel like that. And I'm sorry that you feel like that, but you have to change your mindset. That is not the case. That is not the case at all, okay? People will go fix a car immediately, but ignore emotional damage for years. Years. And that makes no sense at all to me. No sense at all. Children deserve emotionally safe environments. That's the bare minimum we should be able to give them. Not perfect parents, emotionally safe parents. Parents who apologize. Parents who communicate. Parents who listen with the intent to understand what's going on, not with the intent to respond or reply. Parents who discipline without destroying self-esteem. Because discipline and emotional damage are not the same thing, right? And breaking generational curses means sometimes saying, it ends with me. This is the last straw, the bottom line. It ain't going past me. It means learning healthier communication, healthier parenting, healthier coping, healthier love, okay? Even if you never received it yourself, that's strength. And Gemini kids, I got one Gemini baby. He's my twin. Lord, Gemini kids ask questions like tiny attorneys. You tell them because I said so and they hit you with, yes, but respectfully, where's your evidence? That's actually Kalila, the Cancer. But actually, no, all my kids are kind of curious like that, I guess. Now, suddenly you debating a 7-year-old at the dinner table. It's funny because she is 7. But suddenly you debating a 7-year-old at the dinner table because, man, one thing I love about my daughter is, my 7-year-old, is she asks a million questions all the time. And I've always told everybody, don't get mad at her for asking questions. I would prefer my daughter to be able to be in that mindset to where she's asking questions so she knows exactly what's going on or what situation she's in so she can get the understanding she needs. If she got to ask a million questions for that, so be it. They be like, but don't you get tired of it? Probably, but she will never see that. I want her to know and believe that it is okay for her to ask questions. Whenever her mama tell her you ask too many questions, she be like, well, my daddy said it's okay. That's because it is, baby. It's okay. Keep on asking them all them questions you need. Ask away. Ask away, ask away. So I always encourage that. I mean, all kids I encourage to ask as many questions as you can. Don't just take anything somebody says. Get all the evidence you have, all of the information you need before you make a decision, All right, and then now, kind of want to talk about burnout, anger, and emotional exhaustion a little bit here. And let's be real, right? Let's be real. Everybody tired right now. So if you're saying you ain't, I know you're tired. It's cool. We all there. You're either financially tired, emotionally tired, mentally tired, or all three. Who knows? And people carrying so much pressure that even small inconveniences feel massive. That's why everybody seems angry lately. People aren't reacting to one moment anymore. They're reacting to years of stress. Years, okay? Years. Years of survival mode. Years of disappointment. Years of emotional overload. All right? Burnout has become normal, and that's dangerous. People brag about no sleep. People brag about always grinding, always hustling. I used to be one of those people, by the way. Meanwhile, mentally deteriorating, which is the truth. Burnout is not success, and I learned that the hard way. Exhaustion is not a personality trait. And constantly sacrificing yourself without recovery eventually breaks people emotionally, right? Some people genuinely don't know who they are outside of struggle. Peace feels very unfamiliar to them. It feels like in all fairness, peace feels like a barrier that they can't cross. They don't feel like they deserve to be in that kind of barrier, to be peaceful, to be at peace, to be calm and cool, collected. And on the other hand, you got some people that don't want to be at peace. They thrive in chaos, so they need it to be chaotic all the time. But the fact that some people feel like that being at peace, that barrier, they don't deserve it, I feel like that's horrible for you to feel like you don't deserve to be at peace. Everyone deserves to be at peace in some way, shape, or form. it's up to you to put that play into position. It's up to you to make it happen and turn those words into action. If you want peace, you have to do what it takes to get there. If you want to be cool, calm, and collected, you have to do what it takes to get there. You cannot sit on the couch and say, I want a peaceful life, but don't get off the couch to make it happen. You cannot say, I want to be an NFL star, but I never touched the field before to practice to be an NFL superstar. So it's possible. It's there. But we have to learn to put that effort in to get what we want, to truly get what we want, instead of assuming and procrastinating over things that we actually want to get done. Because healthy love feels suspicious to those people. Rest feels lazy to them. And because survival mode became their identity, that's how it is. It sucks to be in that position because I'm like still battling that kind of mindset where I feel like resting is me being lazy or survival is my identity now because anything that looks healthy, it looks suspicious to me, right? All because of my history and the past trauma that I have to deal with. That's where it comes from. And I'm working on getting through that. You got to go through it to get through it. But hear me clearly tonight. You all deserve peace too. Everyone deserves peace. You all deserve rest. You all deserve softness. You deserve emotional support just like any other person. Not just the, what is it called? Not just the responsibility of, or not just the being responsible, right? Sometimes you need a day off. And Geminis don't overreact. We just emotionally preheat before the argument even starts. That's preparation. No, honestly, though, some of y'all need therapy, sleep, hydration, money, a vacation, a hug. And for one person to stop texting you up at midnight. Some of y'all are falling back into the same traps and getting mad that it's happening. But, teach his own. That alone would improve mental health nationwide. All right? I'm just saying. And now I kind of want to go over healing in real time, right? So as we kind of, let me see where we at here. Let me see here. Oh, okay, yeah. So as we kind of close out tonight, or as we get closer to that time frame, we got about 5 or 10 minutes here, but as we close out tonight, I want everybody listening to understand something. And I'm going to try to go over this in the best way possible, okay? Healing is not linear, all right? Some days you feel strong, like you can take on anything in the world, and you ain't got nothing that can stop you. You feel like that nothing but a piece of kryptonite will be able to stop you because you'll feel like Superman. That's how you'll feel some days. But then you'll get those days where you may feel broken, like nothing is making sense. You may not belong. You don't understand what's really going on. And then you have those days where you feel super hopeful that it's all going to get better. And it's just going to take some time. And it's just going to have to get there one day. You're going to have to wait it out. And then some days you just feel exhausted to where you just feel like there's just too much going on. I'm tired. I need some rest. I need some sleep. What do I do? Where do I go to get that done? Where do I get it taken care of? But I just want you to know that does not mean that you have failed at all. That only means that you're human, like all of us other humans. Healing is a very messy journey. So don't let anybody make you think that it's going to be a consistent, clear path for healing. It is a very, very messy journey. It's uncomfortable because you're growing. You're going to be a different person. It's always going to be uncomfortable, okay? Healing sometimes means that you have to start over. It's okay with starting over. We play video games plenty of times. We met new people plenty of times. We started new jobs plenty of times. There's nothing wrong with starting over, all right? Nothing wrong with it at all. And sometimes it means you have to set boundaries. And remember, a boundary is just a line you set to protect your mental peace and your mental health. That's all that is. There's nothing wrong with you setting boundaries with people. And if they respect you as a person, they have no problem following those boundaries. I know it sounds like it's a lot, but it's simple. It's literally up to you to set whatever boundary you want between other people. That's the beauty of it. You get to choose what boundary you won't set. And if that person will not respect your boundary, they don't respect you. And in that case, why do you want them around in the first place? You know, I'm just saying. Sometimes you're going to have to walk away. Sometimes healing means that you have to be the one to apologize because you may have seen that you probably were the villain in that story. Sometimes, and which is the biggest one, you're going to have to learn to forgive yourself. Again, you're only human. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up. We all do it. It's only fair. Like, don't beat yourself up over the fact that you're just trying to do better, okay? Or, my favorite one, sometimes you'll be grieving versions of yourself that you had to outgrow, you know? I know sometimes we like the people we are because we're so used to it. We're so stagnant there. But life is all about growth. You don't want to keep being the same person. You want to do better. Find something better to do and grow every chance you can. Being comfortable, being stagnant, I mean, if you got toxic issues, toxic traits, I think everybody can improve in some way, shape, or form. I don't think anybody on this world is perfect. You show me a perfect person, I'll show you a liar. I think we all have flaws, we all have issues, but I think every day we do something different to improve ourselves, regardless of what it may be, regardless of that. And one of the hardest parts about healing is realizing how much pain you normalized. Whether you were on the receiving end or giving end of that pain, you still normalize it in some way, shape, or form because you let it go on for so long. Is that fair to you? Not at all. It's nowhere near fair to you. Is that fair to anybody else in the picture? Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. What's fair is actually taking control of your mental health and improving and working on it by going to therapy, going to counseling, doing what you can to be better and grow as a person. That's what's fair about it, if you ask me. But I'm proud. Again, because I don't want you to think I'm beating up on anybody with these words, because I'm proud of anybody trying. I don't care if it's the smallest step you could make. If you are trying, I am proud of you. Salute to you for trying to do better, for trying to be better. That's all you can do is try. You put it into motion and you move your feet and you get your gears going best you can and try to make it better, try to be better. Because that's all you can really do. Anybody choosing growth, I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Anybody choosing accountability, I'm proud of you. So proud of you. Anybody choosing therapy, I can't tell you how proud I am of you. Anybody choosing peace, I'm so proud of you. You know what I mean? Anybody choosing to stay alive despite everything trying to break them, I'm just proud of you. Things are going to break us every day in life, and all we can do is fight back. That's it. Fight back. That takes strength. Real strength, you know. And to everybody silently struggling tonight, you know, don't want to tell nobody, don't want to open up about it, please don't give up on yourself. The world is heavy right now. Life gets exhausting sometimes. And your pain, life gets exhausting sometimes. But your story is not over. And your pain is not your final form. Right? And healing does not require perfection. Only effort, only that you try to do better and be better. And honestly, people call Geminis complicated because shallow people fear death. And that's all that is, you know. But repeat after me, because I think y'all all deserve this, right? I deserve peace. I deserve healing. I deserve emotional safety. I will not abandon myself just to keep others comfortable. I am allowed to grow. I am allowed to rest. I am allowed to become somebody my pain never expected me to be. And remember this before we go. Functioning is not the same as healing, okay? Check on your people. Love on your people. Be patient with yourself. And to my fellow Geminis, please stop arguing with imaginary scenarios before they happen. We stressing ourselves out for free. And I'm Juss Quanni. So I hope y'all appreciated everything I had to say today. I love y'all so much, man. And I just want everybody to understand that we have to want to do better in order to do better, okay? But thank y'all for coming out to listen to me on the hottest radio station on the planet. I appreciate y'all again. I will see y'all next week at 4 p.m. on Wednesday. So peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. High 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot 702.5fm.com.